All right, guys. So this week, I wanted to highlight getting older, healthcare, moves, trusts, wills, families. As you get older, a lot of questions. Frank and I have a very special guest that can help out in a lot of areas that outside of just the real estate, right, Frank? So
That's right.
We have Allie here. So Frank.
Yes. Alison Snell, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having
and
me.
having a chat. So, obviously, technically social work?
I have my master's degree in social work.
Okay, see,
yes.
15 plus years, I'm not
You
even
still
sure
have
what
no
you do.
idea.
But you've navigated in a lot of different areas from the hospital to a bunch of different things. We started working together a number of years ago. We joined up recognizing, how we could help each other out. And, we wanted to have you on and talk a little bit about the seniors and them navigating certain phases of their life where your businesses come into play and how we can kind of help and support you in that. We've done seminars together to talk about it and everything in the past. So we thought this would be a fun conversation today. So kind of launch us on your story a little bit, how you got started with this focus and, where you're at now.
Sure. I to start off, becoming a social worker, that started, in 2006 when my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and was given 3 months to live. So, I witnessed firsthand with my family trying to navigate the healthcare system and all these emotions all at once. And that really drove me to go into social work. Unfortunately, when I graduated from Kutztown, my undergrad, I couldn't finish the social work program because, my dad had 3 months to live. So it's like, what can I do to get out of here as soon as possible? So I did the general studies route with a concentration in social work. And then I was hired at one of our local health networks, and they were like, listen, if you're going to be hired here, you have to go back for your master's. I was like, son of a gun. I really don't want to go back to school. But I did. Went to Marywood. Ended up getting my master's in social work, which during that time you and I met at a bar.
That's right.
Had to throw that in there. Shocker. What was it? 1760?
1760.
Bar and Grill.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. And then just did a lot of years at the hospital. Left the hospital, went into home care. During that time, I ended up being appointed my grandfather's power of attorney during his aging process.
Yep.
Which was a whole
nother,
experience.
And just to chime in real quick too, as I had recently met Allie, she happened to be the caseworker at the hospital for my grandmother.
That is right.
When she had been in for some pretty serious stuff.
Yeah.
And what we recognized quickly was, her approach to how she's assisting the families to be like, what do we do next? That stood out. It was not your typical way that she did it. She had a different approach. So that kind of leads into, where she started going with her career then too.
She was my favorite. Her and her little cheetah.
Oh my God,
pajamas.
her cheetah pajamas,
Oh,
and her blankets.
Yep, and telling me all about the walk-in bathtubs that you have to be in the tub to be able to fill it, that you can't fill it and then open the door. She went on for
That could be a problem.
She was a chatterbox.
a half hour about how terrible this was, which was hysterical.
That was always fun though.
Forever will be ingrained in my brain.
Yeah, she was one of a kind.
But with my grandfather and, his aging process, nobody ever asked him as an aging adult, what do you want? How do you want this aging process to look? And as I'm asking him these questions, okay, if you went to the hospital, do you want somebody pounding on your chest and cracking your ribs? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay. Do you want to be on he was on 36 different medications and probably had a 20% compliance rate with it. But all of the doctors that he was seeing, cardiology, urology, his primary care physician, nobody was talking to one another and saying, what, at the age of 80-something, you really don't need to be on this. Especially he was at a high fall risk. So when you're on a blood thinner, when you're a high fall risk, it's a double-edged sword, right? So risk and benefit to everything. So talking to him about what he wanted, really showed me that nobody's asking those questions, whether it's doctors, whether it's social workers, palliative medicine, that's a different story. Those doctors do. But then you also have the family aspect of it, right? And, these patients giving family members power of attorney, but yet those power of attorneys think that just because they have that title, they get to, their voice trumps the patient's voice. Yeah. That's a hard stop because power of attorney does not come into play until that patient is deemed not competent to make their own decisions.
Yeah. And we deal with that too, on the real estate side of things. It can complicate stuff when depending on the situation for the actual homeowner. So it's the same complication for us.
Yeah. So, with my grandfather, having these discussions then made me sleep a little bit better at night, knowing that I'm doing what he asked me to do.
Sure.
No matter what I thought, and putting aside my healthcare opinions didn't matter because that's, what he wanted. And I allowed him to have that decision up until his last breath because he did have moments of clarity. Although he had vascular dementia, or somebody does have dementia, does not mean that they're not competent to make their own decisions.
At certain times, right?
Right. Yeah. So I allowed him to have that independence to make his own decisions, and I think that's a really big deal. So,
especially as you get older and things are getting taken away from you.
Sure.
More and more driving's
or if
you
a huge thing.
Where you're going to live, what you're going to want to do. So to be able to have those moments where you can still have, I have a say in this. I have, and that's where, and doing what you do, having that firsthand experience. It's almost like when we do real estate for like a family member.
Right.
Firsthand experience of what that means and how that works. That's huge. To be able to give
some control a little bit, right? Yeah. To not feel overwhelmed by like all these things are happening behind the scenes for me and I don't even understand what's happening on half of it, let alone having a say in it.
Sure. And listen, aging, getting older, that's the inevitable. We're all going to go through it. But imagine if, all of a sudden, you got taken away the ability to drive, to live alone. Like what is there to live for? So you have to at least empower them and allow them to have some decision makers.
Losing your home all of a sudden, like that you've been in for how long, having to shift, having some say. We've talked about this in the seminar, having some say in, do I want to do home care? Do I want to go to somewhere else?
Sure.
So many things like that a lot of times, depending on the situation, maybe they didn't actually get to make that decision for themselves. So
that's when we do those.
It's crazy.
I remember doing those seminars too. It opened up my eyes on, because I do the mortgage side of the financial, reverse mortgage, that side, real estate, but everything else that goes into it. It was such an eye opener, even thinking when I get older, or my parents, and things like that, like questions that you don't think about sometimes until it's too late.
Right.
That's
absolutely. Yeah. And it is. It's a reality check. But a lot of times people just want to know their options first, right?
Sure.
I know we talked about that too. Just because you're bringing a real estate agent in doesn't mean I'm going to tell you, you should definitely sell your house. Maybe there are other options. We talked about that, and sometimes people don't even realize. They just assume, we're going to have to sell the house. Right. And that's not the case. It's case by case basis. Yeah. So that confidence, let's talk about how did that kind of help lead you to say, maybe I can do this for other people. Maybe there's something here. More people need help, need, an honest, unbiased opinion and somebody that's actually got their back.
Yeah. I mean, I think even before my grandfather, people would be calling me saying, hey, what do you think about this? Or I have a loved one in the hospital. They're telling me this. What do you think? Yeah. But, going through this with my grandfather solidified what I was doing with Navigate Consulting, and also solidified why I wanted to be with Cena Health full time.
Yep.
It's just it's somebody, I'm here that's going to be, I'm an advocate for these people. Right. And you know me, I get loud about it, and it has, it has.
Opinionated.
Well, it's created waves.
She's straightforward.
I'm straightforward because what has happened with all of our big health networks,
Yes.
right, is
Yeah, this is what I want to have you. This is where you shine in this, because a lot of people don't know this information.
right. I mean,
So this is
you
where
know,
someone's gonna
with
know.
these big health networks, you know, at the end of the day, it's a business. They want to keep everything, you know, in-house, and it's played of, oh, well, if you stay within that health, like our health network, we have access to your chart. That's not true, right? We also lose the ability to offer choice. Under Medicare law, I would like to say, you have to offer choice.
Yeah.
Of anything, of a provider. So you shouldn't be sending a referral to gastroenterology within a same network and be like, okay, go here. No, you legally have to offer choice. If they would like to stay in the network, great.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there are some independent providers out there that offer amazing care. And I'm, you know, my shameless plug right here, you know, Cena Health being one of them. Cena Health started out as Avicenna Direct Primary Care. Dr. Bilal Manan, who is our CEO, whom I've known for also 15 years. That's my, you know, my number. You know, his wife, Dr. Lubna Malik, who is the pediatrician, and my husband, who's a chiropractor, and started out as direct primary care in Whitehall. And that is, you pay like a monthly service, you have access to them 24/7, blood work's included. It's a really good...
It's a very different business plan than what we're seeing with the big networks, right?
Right. So you're not worried about RVUs, you know, having to bang out 15 minutes per a patient, right? They're not sitting there just looking at a computer and in your chart instead of having a conversation directly with you, right? So then, you know, Avicenna Direct Care turned into Cena Health, mostly because people couldn't pronounce Avicenna.
Had to make a
Direct
shift.
Care.
Well, it's interesting, Ali, because you know the more you're talking about this, the more there's actually comparisons to our industry, right? Where I think it gets lost too with the bigger brokerages and the bigger companies, and everything just expected to be in-house. It's great to have the in-house services. It's great to have the relationships.
Sure.
But Matt and I have the relationship we do because we trust each other. We want to work together because we're good at what we do and we want to take care of people.
Sure.
You know, there's a difference between that and like just being forced or clients not realizing that they have a choice. It's the same thing.
Sure.
We should be giving them a choice. Matt's got to earn their business, right?
Sure.
That it's the same thing in our industry that sounds like with yours, which is why you guys are a unique path. Maybe not the norm right now, but hopefully becoming more of that so that people understand what their options are.
And you know, with Navigate Consulting, so with my business, you know, when I have partners, it's because I have utilized them in the past. I have utilized you multiple times. I have utilized you. You guys are a beast together. And it takes, you both actually have the rare ability to connect with people on a level that is very different.
Yeah.
Right?
We try not to be like transactional. It's
Yes.
not just a,
Yeah.
it's
Like
getting lost,
like
like-
you're human.
Yep.
You're not
It's the relationships
You're
for us,
not
right? It's a big part of
a
it.
robot, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I like that word, you know, it's not transactional. Like you're treating your clients as human, as a person.
Yep.
Each of them have a story, okay, of, you know, and you've been a part of those stories. I mean, how many times have you been a part of, you know, my story with
few times.
moving and, you know, heartache and all that
Absolutely.
other stuff. So when I have come across clients that have wanted to move, I'm like, nope, listen, you can, if you want to use Weichert,
Sure.
I don't know. That's what came off. More power to you. If you have a friend that you trust, that's great. But here is who I use, and it's because I have used them myself or for my own family. It takes a lot for me to trust providers or my partners. You have to prove yourself.
Sure.
Right?
Yep. We agree 100%.
So
We
when
got to
we
earn
go-
the business.
Right. So when we go back to these big health networks, oh, you know, we got to stick within our network. Like, is that really what's in the best interest for these patients?
Yeah.
Do you understand that there's other things outside of the four walls of the hospital that are providing better care?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people probably don't even know this.
Yeah.
You just think you go. I'm just thinking, me personally. You just go into a hospital network, and that's it. That's what you. They don't know there's other options.
No,
out there
but also too, when we talk about the geriatric population too, it's that they bow down to the white coat, right? What my doctor says is what is what goes. And my grandfather was the same thing.
Sure.
Oh, my primary care doctor did this, and I'm
just
like,
going to say that. I think it starts with the primary care.
It starts with the primary care.
there.
I'm like, Pop, your primary care doctor didn't even know how to order you oxygen. I had to call him and tell him. So I think it's time that, I don't know, we go to a different doctor. And
Try something
actually,
else.
he used Dr. Manon, which is our CEO, as a primary. And the first thing he did was, let's go over your medications. He got him from 36 medications, Matt, down to 4.
Wow.
Yep.
And I give that extra attention to detail the reason why my grandfather got to be in his home for an extra year.
Yep.
Because he gave him a better quality of life.
Absolutely.
It wasn't about quantity. It was about quality.
Yep. It's the big difference, right?
There's a big difference.
We
there.
have that too. Like, again, just relating it back. Those times where you convince somebody not to do the refi, right? You're like, you know what? It might not be the best time when another loan officer might pump it through to get another loan done. Or convincing somebody, now's not the time to sell. Let's wait, or let's analyze this option first, right? It's the same concept, that actual care that, I'm not going to be transactional. I'm going to look at the whole picture for you and try to come up with what's actually best for you right now. And honestly, for me, and I think for you too, that's actually led to more opportunity down the road when you look at it that way, because they're like, this person actually cares, right? It's got to be the same for you guys.
And I can attest for that. I mean, Frank, you and I shared a client together, and how many times, you did the walkthrough. I went with you. You took back her cable box and did all this stuff because the family was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, they weren't around for her. And it was tough. And she was nervous. She didn't understand a lot that was happening. Yeah. So the patience with them, you're repeating things sometimes. You're going over it again just to make them feel comfortable.
And I think a lot of, to the point of what you were just saying too, a lot of, especially in our area, in the Lehigh Valley, so much of our population is aging. And they're at that point now. And to your earlier is, what do? Do I stay in this house? I've been in here for so long. I can't really afford assistant care, or just the questions are not just moving, it's moving lifestyle and the rest of my life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's where having someone like Allie in your corner, an advocate to, hey, let's not think of it just one path, like you said.
Yep.
There's other ways to go about this.
Sure.
That's
analyze everything.
That's a huge, and I think more and more and more, that's where reverse mortgages, even staying in the house, making the house, instead of moving to the ranch that is super hard to find, let's make it livable here. Yeah. Let's bring someone in, answering those questions.
Yeah, and it could be a possibility. Maybe it's not, but at least let's look at all the options first.
And I like that, and that's what these people need are, okay, there are multiple options. Let's lay them out for you. Yes. And that goes back to you're still giving them that choice of what they want to do, how they want their aging process to look, whether that's, taking out that reverse mortgage and having them at home because they are really hell-bent on being home. Because there are those people that, no matter what, I'm sticking my feet in the mud and I'm not moving. There's that option. Okay, let's make this the safest option that we have then by utilizing this. Or there's those people that you're like, no, you can't be home. Yeah.
And that's hard for them to hear sometimes too, right? Like they need to have time to process that and accept it on their own.
Sure. Which sometimes takes a very
easier
long time.
said than done.
Easier said than
Absolutely.
done. Yes.
So yeah, on that note, you got me involved, gosh, I'm not even sure how many years ago now, with a pretty cool, local nonprofit, Lehigh Valley Aging in Place. And it's been a great experience. It's led to some opportunities, but it's given us the ability to give back too. We had the idea a couple years ago. What are we? This is our third year?
Third year, yeah.
Man. To try to help and raise money for Lehigh Valley Aging in Place. And she knows my obsession with golf. So she's like, can we do a golf tournament? And I'm like, yes, we can, but that's a lot of work.
If you know what you're getting yourself into. I'm like, how hard can it be? Okay.
Yeah. It's what we've learned. But
it's
luckily,
gotten
we've
easier. It's gotten
got
easier.
some other great people that have contributed. Jeremy Kappas
Jeremy
is a rock star in that
beast.
world.
Yep.
We're actually going to have him on at some point for his business as well. He's going to come in and chat. But but it's grown. It's been great. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, the funds that were being raised, were going towards scholarships and grants for other nonprofits, and I kind of said, but those aren't helping the now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I proposed last year doing something called the Senior Safety Net Fund, and I came up with this whole proposal, and it's to help low-income seniors, whether that might be with somebody that needs a new window unit in their house or their roof is leaking, so they would have to apply, and then we would provide them the financial ability to do that. And it was... everybody on the board agreed to it. So I'm really, really proud of that. Again, the scholarships for students that want to go into healthcare, okay, but that's down the road, right? Sure. Yeah. Other, nonprofits, us giving them a grant, which is great because they're also helping seniors like the Second Harvest Food Bank, Meals on Wheels, the Jewish Community Center. Mm-hmm. But Lehigh Valley Aging in Place we're supposed to be... well, not supposed to be. We provide these resources to seniors, but it could be so much more. Yeah. And I just wanted to do so much more. Yes. And unfortunately, with the county programs, funding is limited, and you have those seniors that, many of them, that don't qualify for Medicaid, but don't have the funds that can afford, in-home hire or to go to a personal care facility. You have those people that are in between. Yes. And when you have those people that are in between, there's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing for them.
Yep.
You're left to kind of scramble. So how could we meet that need? And although it's a small pot of money right now,
it's a start.
It's a start.
Yes,
it's a start to make a bigger impact. Yep. So,
and we're seeing people want to be involved. The tournament has grown a really good amount in a short period of time. We're very excited about that, and we're trying to find other ways to get donations and try to pump that fund as well, because it's a unique thing, and I think it will grow. I think there's there's definitely just the tip of the iceberg right now. Yeah. For that senior safety net. And the Golden Years Invitational is the golf tournament. It's going to be in August 10th. This year at Green Pond. So if people want to come out, it's a lot of fun. We got great prizes.
The 8 holes are ready. That is my golf team name. So I got a shout out to Ashley, Alexis, and April. So we all start with A. We have our matching shirts. Nice. We got last place last year.
I was just going to say your big goal this year is not to be last.
Listen, we still got a prize though. We still got a round of golf.
They're very proud of their last place.
Yeah,
prize.
Heck yeah. Well, because, I've never really golfed before. The only one in my group that's ever golfed was April. She, carried us through.
No, you guys embraced it, though. You had the matching outfits. You did the whole thing.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
And that's what it's about.
And a lot of those proceeds then go to the Aging in Place.
So 50% go to, all the proceeds go to Lehigh Valley Aging in Place. Right. 50% of them are going directly towards a senior safety net. The other 50% are going towards scholarships, other events that we might do, because they do the senior dance, which is a huge thing. I made you go to that one.
That was an adventure.
They get wild. So it's a free event for seniors, and they're coming. We have DJ Scuba. Yeah. It's a really really fun time. And
they have that up at Twin Lakes now. It's a great venue for that. Yeah. But it's fun. I mean, it's great to see them. Yeah. Able to have some fun and let loose like that, as much as they can, without hurting themselves. But it's a great time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, later as we get into the year, we'll have to make some more plugs for the golf tournament.
Yeah.
So for sure. So when that comes up, because that is a fantastic time.
Yep. Are you going to golf in it again this year,
Absolutely.
Matt?
Yeah, he better be there.
This is the we're going to replay this tape with him saying yes. Pressure is on.
That's right. Conquest Mortgage is getting involved.
I will be there looking into the camera.
You are hearing this right now.
August 10th, I will make sure the calendar is empty. Yeah, I had a family vacation. But either way, thank you for coming. Yeah. Thank you for showing. If anyone has, as a takeaway on this, they know what we do. Now they know a lot about what you do as well.
Yep.
So if anyone needs help, doesn't know where to go, of course, if they reach out to Frank and I, we're going to get you right over to
Yep,
you.
always.
What is the best avenue if someone like just has general questions about their loved one or themselves or however, what's the best way to contact you? Or should they contact someone in particular, or what's the best way
So
to
I
do
have
that?
my own, Navigate Consulting does
Exactly.
have their own, I have my own website. So
Okay.
it's navigateconsulting.net.
Okay.
It has a contact me button. So you can kind of just put in what you need. It will go through me. If you're looking for a new primary care doctor, you can always also contact me at Cena Health.
Okay.
And we can get you set up. But
So either which way, however you look at it, contact you.
contact me.
Through any which
Just
way you can have
contact
it. So it's a
me.
great, I don't know anyone else, I truly don't know anyone else that does what you do and cares as much as you do,
Yep.
passionately, all the time on anything you do with, and doing more than what you have to do with all these golf tournaments and stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah, she does a lot to give back as
yes.
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unique. It's like us, right? We want people to start with us, no matter what. If they're thinking about a real estate move in any way, start with us. It's the same thing. If you have family that's maybe they're just starting to show signs or whatever it is, start with Allie. Start with a consultation just to get an idea of how the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years might look.
Whatever the planning is,
But honestly, also Navigate Consulting would not be, and even myself, let's take Navigate Consulting out of the picture and Cena Health, but myself as a professional, I would not be where I am today with the knowledge that I have and the advocacy without people like you. Without people like my friend Kathy, who is an attorney that is the living will guru, without the physicians that I used to work at or used to work with at one of our at the hospital,
Right.
That knowledge, really my career growth is because of everybody that I've surrounded myself with.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
important.
Yeah. A good network of people that really want to do a good job
Yep.
and
And
mean
do
well.
things the same way, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, thank
Well,
you,
we
Allie.
appreciate you.
thank you.
Yes,
Thanks
you
for coming in.
This is
Yeah.
fantastic. And before that golf tournament, we'll get you back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
Yeah.
another plug on that one
Absolutely.
for sure. So, guys, we'll wrap up. If thanks for watching another week. Again, any information you might need, Allie is your person. You know where to find us. But we'll be hearing more from you. We'll get you back in this year.
Guys, like, follow, subscribe. Mortgage Celebrities, Frank and Rob Partners and Property. Allie.
Navigate
Oh,
Consulting.
hi.
Navigate Consulting.
And
absolutely.
Cena Health.
And Cena Health. You got this. All right. Thank you, Allie.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.